A general strike has brought Greek cities and towns to a standstill as protesters voice their anger about the state of the economy. The strike follows 5 days of rioting after the fatal shooting of a teenage boy by police in Athens. Political leaders have now united in calling for an end to the unrest. For the latest, let's join our correspondent Paul Wood in Athens.
Yes, the general strike did cause widespread disruption, but crucially for the government, it did not bring hundreds of thousands of workers out onto the streets to join the protesters, and that single fact probably enabled the government to survive, if not actually to solve this crisis. So once again, events were dictated by a violent minority. Today's violence began like this in the city of Patras in the early hours. The public mood towards the protesters seems to be hardening. Many Greeks just want to see the streets cleared. In Athens too, shopkeepers are fed up and urging the government to deal with the rioters.
I am angry, and I don't know why they're doing all this. I think there's something in their head.
The ritual clashes resumed this afternoon. This was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration by trades unionists, but it was hijacked by anarchist youths. The number of protesters is small, but this is the main square outside the Greek Parliament. There could be no better symbol of the government paralysis. After 5 days of these disturbances, the authorities seem unable to get a grip on the situation. But equally, the demonstrators haven't been able to force the government into terminal crisis. Neither side has the initiative. Many Greeks are at a loss to explain the violence. It's partly that protest is a tradition. It happens every year, albeit on a smaller scale. So far, the government has calculated that cracking down could just bring more people out onto the streets. The killing of 15-year-old Alexis Grigoropoulos triggered this unrest. His death at the hands of the police quickly became a symbol of wider discontent with the government. There's growing anger about unemployment, which is now at 9%, welfare reforms, which will hit ordinary families, and about official corruption, what's seen as a culture of nepotism. That's why some older people joined the demonstrations. Our young people are facing serious problems, he says. The government made all these promises to kids who have hopes for the future, and they broke them. Skirmishing continued tonight. The Greek Prime Minister has dismissed calls for his resignation. He's hoping this anger will burn itself out. The strategy isn't working yet. The Greek media was reporting today that a state of emergency was being considered. That would be truly astonishing in a country with such bitter memories of military dictatorship. But the fact it's being raised as a possibility shows how deeply shaken Greeks have been by these disturbances.
Paul, thank you very much. Paul Wood, our correspondent there in Athens. The producers of